Welcome, everybody. It's a great pleasure to have you all here in the first regional meet for the West Pacific and marginal seas of South and East Asia. So we'll start the meeting. Let me welcome IOC-UNESCO, our first speaker from IOC-UNESCO, Alison Clausen. Alison, please.
Great, thank you very much. And it's wonderful to be here, well, this afternoon for you, this morning for us. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Alison Clausen, and I am the Deputy Coordinator of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, based at the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO, which is the agency which coordinates the Ocean Decade. And it's really a thrill to be here for this first regional meeting, and welcome to everybody, and thank you for participating. You know, the UN Ocean Decade is really born out of the centrality of the need for ocean science and knowledge for sustainable development. The decade's now entering its third year of implementation, which is hard to believe, but here we are. And this centrality and this central role of ocean science and knowledge for sustainable development and for policy and management, I think the recognition and the need is really greater than ever. But the opportunities are also greater than ever. We saw last year numerous global convenings from Brest to Palau to Lisbon that really raised the bar in terms of the awareness of the importance of the ocean for climate, for biodiversity, and some of the links across these ocean climate nexus, across the ocean biodiversity nexus, as well as the need of the ocean for human health and well-being. And the work of the Ocean Panel, the work of others around the world through different global commitments, has really encouraged governments to deliver tangible, actionable engagements to sustainably manage the ocean. And so the Ocean Decade is a part of this overall growing global movement. It's playing an increasingly important role as the engine of ocean science to feed these initiatives. Across the decade, which is really structured as many of you know, I'm sure around 10 Ocean Decade challenges, we've had significant and rapid growth in the ecosystem of programs and projects that are working with numerous thousands of partners around the world. We have over 47 programs, over 230 projects now that are really have taken up the challenge, have taken up the mantle, and are contributing to the vision of the Ocean Decade, which is the science we need for the ocean we want. These decade programs and projects are working across all the ocean basins, but there are still notable geographical gaps in leadership. And this is owing to gaps and challenges and opportunities in skills, in access to partnerships, in access to data, in access to technology. So this initiative of Mercator to set up regional hubs and to really bring together regional stakeholders is extremely important in that regard. And we hope it's really an example that others will follow to help fill some of the geographical gaps that we're still seeing in action in the decade. You know, with all of this work that is going on, coordination in the decade is really central to success. And from the outset, the decade was structured to have a very light central coordination structure, and the aim was to rely on partners who had that deep thematic and regional expertise and networks to take the decade really to a level where real impact could be achieved and translate that global ambition to regional and thematic priorities. And Mercator Ocean International was one of the first partners to rise to this challenge via the establishment of the OceanPrediction Decade Collaborative Center. And it's fair to say that Mercator has really become a model for others to follow through the innovative approaches that they've been using to regional engagement, to the creation of communities, to knowledge sharing, and the catalyst of partnerships. And the whole team at IOC-UNESCO and the Decade Coordination Unit in particular sincerely thanks Pierre, Enrique, and the whole team for the visionary leadership and engagement. And this meeting here today is just another example of that leadership. Mercator, of course, is not alone in terms of coordinating and supporting implementation of the decade, and works closely with the decade coordination officers that are focusing on ocean observing and on data sharing, and both of those are actually housed within IOC, so they're very close to the decade team. And in this way, the OceanPrediction Decade Collaborative Center is really an essential part, not only of working on ocean prediction, but of strengthening the entire ocean science value chain. So this year and next year is going to be a critical year for the decade. In 2024, we'll see the Ocean Decade Conference, which will take place in Barcelona in April. And it will also be the preparation year for the 2025 UN Ocean Conference. And so with the support of Mercator, we hope that the ocean forecasting and prediction community at the regional, at the global level will come together through the Decade Collaborative Centre to really seize these opportunities to grow and continue to catalyse new and innovative partnerships and sustainable development solutions. And having these discussions, of course, at the regional level will ensure relevance and uptake of the results. And this meeting's a really important first step in that direction, as I said. So I wish you all wonderful discussions. I look forward to all of you continuing to collaborate and partner and work with us at the Decade Coordination Unit in the framework of the decade, and seize some of these opportunities that are coming up in the coming years to really be able to collectively achieve the ambition of the decade and move towards the ocean we want by 2030. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful meeting, and I look forward to hearing the outcomes and the results of your discussions today. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. Sorry for disturbing. I'm Yasumasa Miyaza. I will chair this session. Thank you for keynote address, Ms. Alison Clausen. Next speaker is Pierre Bahurel. He is talking about an introduction to Ocean Prediction DCC. Please.
Thank you very much, Yasumasa, and thank you very much, Alison, for the kind words. My dear colleagues from Asia, I'm very, very pleased to be with you this morning for us, this afternoon for you. I'm the Director General of Mercator Ocean International, and Mercator Ocean International has been honored to be entrusted by the IOC-UNESCO to deliver, to implement with you all these Ocean Prediction Decade Collaborative Centers. So Ocean Prediction, we mean here all this digital oceanography, modeling, data simulation, gathering of data to deliver an information that can be actionable. And we have already starting the game with you all in January. We were honored to have with us, and I see my friend Stephen Victor from Palau, our minister. We were lucky to have him to kick off this super Ocean Prediction Decade Collaborative Centers. And now we are going regionally, thanks to you. And I have to say that Enrique Alvarez, the technical coordinator of this Decade Collaborative Center, is more than happy to work with you all and under the leadership of Swadhin. So thank you very much for this. So ocean prediction, if we look at what we've been doing during the last decade, in a way, this is when maybe the world realized that this ocean prediction tool, prediction data modeling, it was useful. And we ended this decade in 2020 with users. And 10 years before that, the users were not so evident in this. And it took different forms in different areas of the world, in your country, in different continents. We had different systems. The question we have is, what will we deliver at the end of this decade in 2030? And what we think, what we discuss all together, is that it's time for us to act as one, to deliver as one, to have this network of centers that will, at the end of this, will really bring together this ocean prediction capacity worldwide and put resources and develop synergies. And we are very, very lucky. I think this is unique to have this UN Decade for Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. This is this framework we need to work together. So I just want to explain what we have in mind for this DCC, Decade Collaborative Centers, with seven ideas. First, as I was explaining, this is a voyage, a 10-year voyage, to deliver at the end of this decade, this super network of coordinated centers from the different places in the world. So we have to think about this 10-year, and as Alison was explaining, we have 7 years now remaining, but I mean, we will do that. Two, the goal, the motivation is to serve the ocean knowledge, to deliver something that can be useful for political leaders, for citizens, for scientists. And we have really this idea that we need to provide all the information that is needed to better protect or restore the ocean and develop something that is useful for anyone. So this is what we have in mind, and this is why we are working together. 3 and 4, this is about the method we have. 3, this is a coordination body, this Decade Collaborative Center, coordinating all the different actions, components, programs that we have in this UN Decade framework. These are the programs about ocean forecasting like Fujii, about digital twin like DITO. Well, you name it. We have all these programs, and this is where we will really have all the engine of this UN Decade framework that will deliver, but also all the different collaborative centers and offices that were mentioned by Alison, about the observations, about the different areas where we need coordination. So we have this coordination body to take care of all these different assets that are delivered. And for this is a collaborative center, which means that we want to be inclusive and work with different regions, different skills, different generation, different experts in the world. And this is where we had this idea that we should go regional, organizing this Decade Collaborative Centers with regions. And your region is very, very active, and we want to use you to really explain how to work all together. So I'm so happy today, I was about to say this morning, this afternoon, for you to see that Japan, China, Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, Palau, Fiji, Thailand, Singapore, Australia, Vietnam, New Zealand, maybe I forgot some countries, are all together to think about how to deliver. So this is the collaborative idea that we have. 5 and 6, this is about the practical objective that we have in mind. 5, we want to, at the end of this decade, have a super map of the ocean prediction centers worldwide. We want to put everyone on the map and see who we are and where we are. 6, we want to have a technical common, standards, interoperability, maybe all the things we need to share and put resources and deliver as one. And this is really a huge effort. And with this UN Decade framework, this is a unique opportunity to do that. And this is where we are with ocean prediction today. We are very operational locally. We need to really develop this regionally and then on the global scale. And the last one, 7, is the schedule that was mentioned by Alison already. Every year we will have a milestone. Next year we will meet in Barcelona in 24, and we have in 25 the UN Ocean Conference in France. And this means that we need really to be very practical and organized to deliver every year something. And this is what we have in mind. Then I will give the floor to you, Mr. Chair, so that we can hear Enrique, who is our technical coordinator, and he will explain practically how we will work together. Thank you very much for your commitment, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we are going all together with the ocean prediction. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for a good introduction to Ocean Prediction DCC, Pierre. The next speaker is Enrique Alvarez family. He is talking about how the regional team will work. Please, Enrique.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the speakers, previous speakers. Thank you to Alison for the very kind words, and to Pierre for the wonderful introduction to our what we are going to do. And now I'm going to move to a more practical stuff. I'm going to try to explain in a very practical way how we are going to develop our work, which will be our way of working. And this is basically explained in our terms of reference that we have previously distributed before. So what is the rationale behind these regional teams? Regional teams want to be a backbone collaboration structure to provide a collective voice to a wide ocean prediction community. And when I say wide, I mean going from scientists to users, going from deep sea to coastal, all the community that is involved in ocean prediction. As Pierre mentioned it, we decided to organize by regions in order to be able to grasp all the local experience and also to be able to reach everywhere in the planet. And we are taking the best of the UNEP regional seas, the best of the GOOS regional alliances. And from that start, we are building our own regions. And as Pierre said, we are very proud today of having our first meeting for the Western Pacific. And this is, as Pierre said, the spearhead of the regional teams, and we want to use this as an example for the others. So once all this structure will be in place, this will be our boots on the ground for promoting the implementation and use of ocean forecasting systems worldwide. In a more specific way, we can talk about different objectives, such as identify and attract a wide community, as I mentioned it, scientists, users, private sector. We want to go out of our traditional comfort zone of talking only with scientists, and we want to do a matchmaking service with the society. Support decade actions related to ocean forecasting, as it is obvious, because we are a decade collaborative center, and this is in our DNA. Work on identification of gaps and ways forward. This is very relevant. Work on communication, capacity building on ocean literacy. We will rely a lot on the regional teams for this task. We cannot do a proper communication, we cannot do a proper capacity building and ocean literacy without the support and without the participation of the regional teams. So this is very, very important asset for us in order to complete this goals. And finally, advocate for this common that Pierre was mentioning, these best practices, standards, and tools that will allow us the transition from the scenario we have today in ocean forecasting to the scenario we want to have at the end of the decade. So how we are going to organize this? What is inside this document, the terms of reference that we will approve today in this meeting? Well, the most critical thing is that on one hand we are assigning a focal point per region. In this case, it is going to be JAMSTEC, and in particular, it's going to be Swadhin as chair of the regional team. So this is very important because he will be the one in charge of coordinating the whole regional team. And then we will have a steering team. The steering team is formed by what we call the topic experts. We have found a series of topics: observation, physics, biology, climate, artificial intelligence, a series of topics. And in every region, we will have the same experts. So we will form an international network that will be able to talk to each other and will be able to coordinate between the different regions and also with the technical component of ocean prediction DCC. So being more specific, these experts will form a global network, topic expert. We focus on different aspects. First of all, they will act, obviously, as focal point in the region for the point they are assigned to. I have to say that it is very good that we reached to this meeting today with these experts already assigned, and in fact, they will talk after me in the following session, explaining their view on the different topics today. It will network with the other region experts, as I explained it before. Of course, we are listening to the new ideas these experts will provide. We'll support this map that Pierre was talking, the mapping of the ocean forecasting system. We'll support our activities for gap detection and needs detection. Will contribute to the communication, very important, because if we want to have a communication alive, we need these people to be feeding these communication channels. Will contribute to expand the community towards other sectors, as mentioned, and will support capacity development and ocean literacy in the region. So what are the next steps for this year? Going to be very specific for this year 2023. We have today this platform, which is the Engage platform. It's still alive till we develop our new page, which is on the making at this moment. The first regional team meeting, which is today, we'll see the presentation and approval of the terms of reference. This is exactly what we are doing. We are starting our activities thanks to these terms of reference that we distributed. We will, around July, migrate all the activities from the Engage platform of the kickoff meeting event to the new webpage that we are building at this moment. We expect this to happen around July. We will be working on contributing to the plans for capacity development and gap detection in the period from August to December, and we hope to have by the end of the year another meeting of this team with the approval of capacity development and gap detection plans around November, December, around this time. And as I mentioned it, we are listening also to your ideas, and we are flexible in our plans and ready to adapt to what is needed on the regions. So we have this objectives for the end of the year, this identified network that Pierre was mentioning, the atlas of organization, individuals, downstream services, all these will be on a map, hopefully by the end of the year. These plans for identification of gaps and ways forward in the regional landscape, plans for capacity building and ocean literacy to be developed in the following years. So this year we are like building the team, creating the plans, and the plans will start into operation this year. And this mentioned worldwide network of experts formed by the members of the steering team. So as conclusions, the Ocean Prediction DCC community will be obviously a key element for the development of the ocean we want in terms of ocean forecasting. The regional teams will be a pillar for the success of this community, supporting capacity development and promoting the adoption of tools, standards, and best practices to work in this new scenario where we will be able to deliver as one. And 2023 will be for us the year of implementation, will be where we build the teams, we start working, we build a new page, we create these tools, we start building our plans for capacity building, organization, etc. So thank you for being in this meeting, and I'm sure you will help us building our regional teams. And after talking about the regional teams, I am quite sure that you agree with us in our motto, which is connecting the world around ocean prediction. So thank you very much. And the floor is back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Enrique. Thank you for guidance how the regional team will work. The next speaker is Romane Zufic. She will be talking about ocean literacy and capacity development. Please, Romane.
Thank you very much. So thank you a lot and welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to present you today this small talk about ocean literacy and capacity development. I'm the reference in ocean literacy and capacity development for ocean prediction, and today we are going to present you some perspective and the beginning of our roadmap for this activity. So first of all, it's important to define our concept and how we define these. So if we take the UN definition of capacity development, it's the process whereby people, organization, and society as a whole unleash, strengthen, create, adapt, and maintain capacity over time in order to achieve development results. Then ocean literacy, as defined by IOC-UNESCO, can be defined as an understanding of the ocean influence on you and your own influence on the ocean. So they seem really different. Why are they addressed together within ocean prediction? We chose these because we believe they are really interdependent, as they are focusing on an overarching objectives, which is bridging the knowledge gaps. And in that sense, ocean literacy is really about knowledge and know why, while capacity development is really about skills and know how. That being said, we still need to narrow our targets and our objectives because both concepts can lead to an infinite amount of objectives. And to be efficient, we must be selective. And we need to define targets that will be aligned with ocean prediction vision, which is to foster an ocean science to service approach to develop a powerful ocean prediction capacity around the world for a sustainable ocean. So at the frame of ocean literacy, the main targets will be really bridging the gap between science and policy, inform policymaker, and support decision-making. While for capacity development, the main activity and the main objective will be to support the worldwide implementation of the ocean forecasting architecture that is currently, that will be designed by the ocean prediction experts. So we must come up with a process and a methodology to do that and to achieve this. And for that, we have 5 steps that have been defined. And for this year, we will focus on step 1, 2, and 3, which is engaging the stakeholders, assess the needs and the assets and the capacity and the challenge that are existing. And step 3 is designing a solution. Once we achieve this, will come the implementation phase, of course, and down the road, the evaluation phase. And for all this, we really need to have this boots on the ground approach Enrique was talking about before, meaning that the role of the regional team and the steering team at the regional level is very crucial to help every step and to play an intermediate role between every user and us. So if we focus more on the plan for this year, our priority is really to build roadmaps for capacity development and ocean literacy to implement starting from next year. And for that, we have 3 steps, as I said. And first, we will focus on mapping the landscape, what exists, everything, like mapping the current situation. Then we will identify the gaps where we should act, and then we will define our priorities and really fine-tune the plan and the roadmap. And throughout all this, we need to have key elements in mind. First of all, there is a strong emphasis to keep on the regional specificities. We are all aware that there are challenges, needs, and stakeholders that are very different from one region to another. And we have 9 regions, so of course we need to take this into account, and this is really important for the relevancy of the roadmap for every region. We need support for the steering team, as I said before, for example, to disseminate surveys and to help us really understand the regional specificity I was talking about. And then we must also take into account the budget uncertainty. And for this, our roadmaps will consider different scenarios according to that. Then come what we know so far for the roadmap for next year onwards. And if I put draft, is because we will define this year, but there is still element that we already know. For example, the ETUF guide will be really the backbone of the capacity development activities. Another important point is that we will keep regular meetings between the 9 capacity development ocean literacy experts within the steering team. So 1 person per team we will have this team between Ocean Prediction Secretariat and the experts. The roadmap that we will formulate will somewhat need to be flexible and adaptable to the needs and priorities of each regional team. And this part is really important. And this is, again, why we really need your inputs to formulate the most relevant roadmaps. The website will be an asset for the community as well regarding capacity development and ocean literacy, because we will have on the website to be issued circa July. We will have a forum to really exchange, ask, learn all together and really do a peer-to-peer exchange. We will have the ETUF guide on wiki, so editable document to contribute generating knowledge together and to really propose improvement and suggestion to the existing documents. And then, of course, we will have a resource and event page where we will share relevant content and opportunity for everyone down the road. So for now, what we can do right now, so we have developed 3 different categories. For the regional experts on ocean literacy and capacity development, of course, we need, again, your input and ideas to build our plan. And then you can also expect the first ocean literacy and capacity development meeting that will be probably announced around September, to be held around September. For the steering team, we will soon distribute survey regarding gaps and needs as part of our 2023 plan for building our roadmaps. So be ready to fill it, be ready to distribute it within your network. And again, a massive participation on these surveys is key for to build a relevant plan and to have a sound knowledge for us. So that will be a key. And then for everyone, we are welcoming all your inputs and ideas. So do not hesitate to contact us. And also the Ocean Prediction website will launch soon. And we really recommend you to add yourself and your organization on our world map that we call the Atlas. So we can start mapping our global community. Again, also start the regional team channel on your forum and start to exchange here and together. And also just share the website within your network so we can really grow all together as a community. So thank you, everyone. And I welcome all the questions and I hope we can discuss all these afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Romane. The last speaker of this session is chairman of our regional team, Dr. Swadhin Behera from JAMSTEC. Please, Behera-san, please summarize this session and continue the topic leaders presentation meeting. please.
Thank you, Miyazawa-san. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you are. So already, as you have heard from Alison, Pierre, Enrique, and Romane, all about the OceanPrediction DCC, how we are going to kind of network regional teams with the global network. And then collectively, as a community, we develop together for this region, Western Pacific and marginal seas of South and East Asia, as well as globally by providing information through our network. And as you can see here, this region, West Pacific and marginal seas of South and East Asia, is important for marine diversity. We have this coral triangle, many kind of species, very diverse, very unique. And in addition to that, we have important fish stocks, which is providing livelihood support for many people, millions of people in the region. And then this region is very important for trade and transportation. We know that South China Sea is very busy for the sea routes, and we have lots of trades going through the channel. And then we have many ocean currents, waves, and those are actually helpful for energy resources, not only for renewable energy resources, but also important for transportation of current conventional energy like gas and oil. Not only this region is important for all these, but also most importantly, I think, for climate variations and change. We have extreme events in this region which floods many parts of this region and affect the livelihood, also socioeconomic conditions. We have the typhoons. On top of that, we also have large-scale climate variation, climate modes of variations like El Nino Southern Oscillation, the El Nino Southern Oscillation Modoki, and the Indian Ocean Dipole in the neighborhood. Besides, of course, we have the subtropical climate phenomena, and the heat transport from the tropics is very important in terms of the global heat budget and the climate change. So in that sense, this region, which is part of the warm pool, is very important for climate as well as biodiversity. We have many issues. As you know, the heat waves, the marine pollution, which is affecting the health of oceans, the seas of this region. We also have issues like how to implement policies. We have many policies now, but how to implement those policies, intergovernmental exchanges on policy issues, and then developing blue economy for sustainability of this region, the sustainability of the world. I think those are important issues which we need to address through our regional team. So how do we address them? And there are several ways. I think Romane mentioned about 9 topics or 9 steering groups that OceanPrediction is assigning to each regional team. We have added one more to that, that is ocean health, because we think ocean health is very important for this region, both for marine lives as well as human lives. So we have like on the left, you have 5 research topics from ocean observing to digital twins. And on the right, we have 5 policy or development topics from connecting to users to actual policy implementations. So we feel through our network, by working together, co-working and co-leading, actually we have leads for each of those topics, and we are trying to find members for each topic. And wherever we don't have a co-lead, we will actually welcome one of you to join as a co-lead, or recommend one of your colleagues to co-lead one of the topics where you don't have a co-lead. You will see all co-leaders' presentation just after my talk. So we'll know that which topics have co-leads, which topic doesn't have co-leads. And also we need members of each topic, for each steering group, so that the co-leads together with members and develop the reports and also connect that topic to the global other regional heads and other regional topic leads, so that we can have a collective view for the whole community. Now, Romane also mentioned about identifying gaps. I think we'll have surveys, and then we'll try to identify gaps for research. Also try to find gaps for observations, operational products, capacity development, and policy implementations. All these gaps exist, and we know that we need to somehow answer some of those gaps to transform what we have now to a new kind of society where we'll have much smarter information using digital twins and also interactive and smart interfaces. So those kind of things, at the moment, we need, for developing those kind of things, at the moment, we need to strengthen our research. We need to identify what are the processes we still don't know. And then what are the ways we can try to understand those processes, either through observations, by analyzing observational data, or through our model experiment and digital twins. So in that way, we can have a very strong research base. Based on that, we can implement plans, policies, and develop capacity of this region as well as the whole world. At the end, I would like to say that ocean forecast systems have evolved and now provide useful information to various user communities, but we know there are gaps. We know we need some improvements, both in our understanding as well as our predictions. So as a regional team, let's work together to develop the region's capacity in both cutting-edge science and advanced prediction systems by understanding gaps and co-developing solutions. Then we improve user experiences through better and more interactive interfaces, so that users who do not have a good way of using our products will be able to use our products for their benefits. Then support the sustainable developments and ocean literacy and through capacity development. I think that's all I want to share with you today, and looking forward to work with you and welcome you all again to this first regional meet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Behera. Maybe better to soon move to next session.
Okay, thank you, Miyazawa-san, for kindly chairing the first session. And now we'll move to our next session, which will be presentations by topic leaders. As the first topic leader, I will invite Dr. Yosuke Fujii from MRI, Japan Met Agency, Japan, to give us some ideas about ocean observation in this region. Fujii-san, please.
Thank you for introducing me. Just a minute. Not this one. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Yosuke Fujii, working at Japan Meteorological Agency, Meteorological Research Institute. I agreed to lead the observing group of this regional team. Then, I would like to explain why I agreed to take the role. You know, I'm co-chairing the OceanPredict Observing System Evaluation Task Team. And the task team proposed the UN Ocean Decade project, SYNOPS, and the project is endorsed in the last June. And I led the proposal of the project, and as a result, I'm currently leading SYNOPS. So I'm also involved in UN Ocean Decade program, Ocean Observing Co-Design, especially in the marine heat wave exemplar team. Thus, I thought I can contribute to the ocean observing community in the West Pacific region through those activities. And the full name of SYNOPS is Synergistic Observing Network for Ocean Prediction. The objective of SYNOPS is to see the way to extract maximal benefits with the combination among various observation platforms, typically between satellite and east observation data in ocean predictions. The strategy of SYNOPS is to identify the optimal combination of different ocean observation platforms through observing system design or evaluation, and to develop assimilation methods with which we can draw synergistic effects. You can contact SYNOPS through this mailing address. And also you can check the web page. And you can also join the mailing list if you request by email. And this slide shows the relation of SYNOPS and other international research programs. SYNOPS is suggested as a common comprehensive project among the 3 UNDK programs, Fujii, CoastPredict, and Ocean Observing Co-Design. And the full name, and Fujii, the ocean prediction capacity of the future is the UN Ocean Decade program led by OceanPredict. And OceanPredict is a community of scientists related to ocean predictions and operational oceanography, which continues since 1998. And Fujii have to build a seamless ocean information value chain from observations to the end users for economic and social benefits. And CoastPredict is another UN Ocean Decade program supported by Global Ocean Observing System, GOOS. And the OceanPredict Coastal